it's Annie from the Youth Room at the BB Library, and I am here for a Wednesday Read Aloud. So for the next few Wednesdays, you can catch me right here, and I'm going to be reading a couple chapters of a book on each Wednesday. So I really wanted to do this sort of a program. I did this over summer as well, and I was interested in doing this because when I was in school, getting read to by a teacher was my favorite part of the day. And in the 6th grade, I had a teacher who let us color and craft while she read to us. So I thought this would be sort of a fun program to do where you can have this on in the background while you color or craft and just listen to the story in the back. Maybe you just want to sit back, relax, and listen to a story. Or you might want to get your own copy of the book from our library or on Hoopla and follow along the words as I read out loud. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. And the book that I would like to share with you today and for the next couple of Wednesdays is Book Uncle and Me by Uma Krishnaswami. And this is a chapter book about a young girl, a 9-year-old named Yasmin. And Yasmin loves reading. Every day she gets a new book from a man who's called Book Uncle. And he owns a free lending library in Yasmin's community. And Yasmin's goal is to read a book every single day, so she visits Book Uncle every single day. But suddenly, the city tells Book Uncle that he has to close his book stand, and he's not allowed to give away any more free books. So Yasmin needs to come up with a plan to help save Book Uncle's stand. But she's only 9, and she's not sure that there's anything that a 9-year-old kid can do to help save this book stand and take a stand. So let's find out together and see if Yasmin is able to. This is Book Uncle and Me, and the words were written by Uma Krishnaswami, and the illustrations were done by Juliana Swaney. And this book is dedicated to young readers everywhere. Chapter 1, The Right Book. Watch me zigzag after school every single afternoon between the bus stop and Horizon apartment flats. It's where my best friend Reenie lives in 3B, and I live in 3A. Reenie and I wave to our friend Anil. He karate blocks and punches at us through the bus window. It's his way to say, "Goodbye, see you tomorrow." The bus peels off down the road. "Bye, Yasmin," says Reenie. "Bye, Reenie," I say. She turns to go home. I zig-zag off on my daily mission. Mind the crooked tree, mind the Istri lady with her iron and heap of clothes, mind the broken pavement and the pigeons cooling their feathers in mud puddles, watch, 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 and here it is! Book Uncle's lending library on the corner of St. Mary's Road and First Cross Street, with books spread out on planks of wood and a small tin can for donations, just to help out if anyone wants to. Here is the sign in faded old letters. Books, free. Give one, take one, read, read, read. Perfect. In all of India, could there be a better corner lending library than this? Chapter 2, Number 1 Patron. "Hello, Yasmin Ma," says Book Uncle. "How's my number 1 patron?" I don't know about number 1, but I sure am Book Uncle's busiest patron, as I mean to read one book every day. Every single day, forever. I started last year right after I turned 8. That already feels like a billion years ago, because now I'm past 400. Books, I mean. I returned yesterday's floppy paperback. Book Uncle beams at me through his glasses, so fat they make his eyes extra big and extra smiley. "Did you like it?" he asked. He really wants to know. "Of course," I say. I always do. I always like the books he gives me. He waves at the piles. "Take another, take another. Something different this time?" He points to a thin book with a dark green cover. I take a look. It seems a little skinny. I pick it up, I open it, and for the first time ever in all the time I've been getting books from Book Uncle, I am not sure. "It looks too easy," I say. "Short and sweet," says Book Uncle. "Old Indian story. You can read it in 3 times in a day if you like." I turn the book over and then over again. "I can read bigger books," I say. Book Uncle looks at me sideways. He opens his mouth as if there is something he wants to say. Then he closes it again as if he's changed his mind. Finally, when I think maybe he has forgotten I'm still there, he says very softly, "Right book for the right person for the right day. As you know well, that is my motto." He's right. It is. It's a good motto. He has always given me the right book on the right day, hasn't he? "I'll take it," I tell him. I waste no time. As soon as I have stepped over the broken bits of pavement, which I really wish the city would fix so I could walk and read without worrying about where to put my feet, I start to read the book. And I am sorry to say that I was right. It is a story for little kids about a king of doves who gets himself and all of his followers stuck in a trap sent by a hunter. At first I'm disappointed, but then I think, well, I'll keep going. Might as well find out what happens to those doves. There they are, caught in a net. I turn the pages. No escape, no escape. Try. Still no escape. Will they save themselves? This may be a book for little kids, but still, it's giving me something to think about. It drives me crazy when a book does that. All the way up the stairs to 3A, I worry about those doves. I read the book once straight through after homework and dinner, and I find out that the Dove King and all his followers do get free. I know, I'm giving away the ending, but here's the thing. The point of a story is not the ending. The point is, what does it mean? Well, I'm still wondering about that. My father calls me to see something on the TV. Chapter 3, Swirling T-shirts. "It's a t-shirt folding contest," Wappa says. He makes room for me on the sofa. "They fold t-shirts?" "They do. Have you ever heard of such a thing?" "Wappa," I say, "why would anyone want to take part in a t-shirt folding contest?" "See for yourself," he says. "There are all kinds of crazy people in this world, my Minu." My mother laughs, including those people who sit around watching those crazy people fold t-shirts. A whistle tweets. A dozen people on TV make a dozen rainbow-colored piles of t-shirts, their hands flying as fast as Emil's karate punches. It makes me dizzy to watch those swirling t-shirts. The room spins around me and the air is full of t-shirts and there is no ground under my feet anymore. I gasp and clutch at the sofa. Wappa pats me on the shoulder and the room steadies. The whistle blows again. Everyone stops. The winner has folded 30 t-shirts in 60 seconds. That is only 2 seconds per t-shirt. "That is fast," I say, able to breathe again. "Blink of an eye," says Wappa. How long would it take me to do a thing like that? Many blinks. Which reminds me of those doves and their king and the hunter. Where were these t-shirt folding people with their flying hands when the doves needed help? Wait, that's in this story and this is real? Give me a story any day. Uma says, "You people want to practice folding clothes? There's a whole clothesline on the terrace." Wappa turns the TV off. The phone rings. "I'll get it," he says. He picks up the receiver with a cheery, "Hello," but in a minute his face changes, so I know who that is. When he hangs up, he says, "You know who that was." Wappa's big brother, Rafiq Uncle, always has that effect on us. "He's coming to visit us?" asks Uma. Wappa nods. "He's coming on business. Maybe he'll be so busy he won't have time to criticize?" My mother shakes her head as if she knows that Rafiq Uncle will always have time for a few well-chosen words to put her in her place. She goes into a flurry of worrying about all the things in the flat that will need to be dusted and mopped and polished. Suddenly, the only tube of toothpaste we have left, squeezed half empty, that wasn't even a problem until now, becomes just another sign of her bad housekeeping. "I'll get some more," Wappa says. He escapes, leaving me to the mercy of Uma's duster. Chapter 4, Just a Slogan. That duster is a weapon. Uma uses it against dust, clutter, and all signs of untidiness. I retreat to my room, which is what you might call a strategic move, just in case she takes it into her head that I need to be dusted off too. In the safety of my room, I try to make sense of things. Something is bothering me about that book, and it's not just the story. It's Book Uncle, I decide. Why did he give me the funny look before he handed me that book? as if he would like to say something but couldn't find the words. He seemed distracted. That's it, as if something was on his mind. Is something wrong? Maybe I'm just worrying for no reason. I turn to the story in the hope that I can unravel its puzzle. How strange that such a skinny book can leave so many questions in my mind. I flip the pages to see if maybe there was something I missed. Doves, king, trapped in a net, hunter, get help, get free, the end. So what? I say out loud. So what about what? Says Uma, brandishing the duster over my head. Help, I say. I surrender. No need, silly girl, says Uma. How about you help me instead? She points to a pile of books on the floor by my bed. Then she points to the shelf. Get my drift? She says. Uma, I tell her. I get your drift. I get it fine. We get to work. She whisks the duster over my shelf. I put the books away. While I do that, I tell her the story of the doves and the hunter. That's an old Indian story, Uma says. I know, Book Uncle told me. But Uma, what's the big lesson in it? For me, I mean. I can't tell you that, she says. I can tell you what something means for me. How can I tell you what it means for you? Only you can know that. I tell her about Book Uncle's motto, right book, right person, right day. So why was this such a great book for me? It's just a slogan, she says. Right book and all that, he just likes to say that. Don't take it too literally. What does that mean? Taking something literally? Yes. As if every word is true, she says. You know, it's just a catchy slogan. It gets more people to pick up a book. Nothing wrong with that. Don't take it too seriously. Then Uma looks around my room, nods her head, and moves on with her duster to the next target. Too literally? Too seriously? Is that how I'm taking it? Is it just a slogan? I don't think so. I think Book Uncle really does find the right book for the right person on the right day. That I'm pretty sure about. Before I can arrive at any conclusions, Wappa comes back with enough toothpaste to polish up the teeth of the entire Indian army. Chapter 5. Hi-ya! And so the weekend gets dusted off. On Monday, we're off to school again, which is just the way things are. One day, after the next, after the next. It's a bit like folding t-shirts when you think about it. Folding, folding, folding. It's not so different from wheels turning, turning, turning. The bus driver honks his horn. He sticks his head out of the window and yells at a man on a bike. You think you own the road or what? The man on the bike yells back, You think you run the city? Hey, Yasmin, says Reenie. Look at that. She points at something outside of the bus window. I look where she's pointing, but I don't see anything so great. And anyway, I'm still all tangled up in slogans and taking things literally. Maybe I am taking the dove story too literally. Maybe, as if every word is true. Maybe instead, I should be looking for some other meaning to it. What have I missed in that story? You missed it, Reenie says. Are you reading my mind? I ask her in surprise. I was thinking maybe I didn't get it, but how did you know that? Now Reenie looks puzzled. Get what? What are you talking about? I was trying to show you the poster for the new Karate Samuel movie. Is that all? I say. I thought you were going to help me work out the story in this book. How can I help you work out the story in your book when I haven't even read it? Reenie says. Reenie, you can't read it, I say. I have to give it back. Today, remember? I'm reading one book every day. Fine, she says. Don't share. You never share. I do, I protest. I share a desk with you in school. I share this seat with you in the bus. And when you come over, I share... I stop to think what it is I share. Everything, I end up. Reenie gives me the kind of look that tells me she's not impressed. You should see Karate Samuel's round kicks, says Anil. He's trying to change the subject to stop Reenie and me from arguing. I don't like it either, but who started it? Not me. Karate Samuel is just a movie star, I say, turning pages. But now the words are bumping up and down. The bus is turned under the flyover by the Gemini studio and is going gada gada over the potholes, past the circle where the lights have stopped working and a policeman is dancing around trying to control traffic. Hi-ya! Anil's karate hands fly past my face, quick block punching. I manage to catch the Dove book before it falls down. Stop it, I tell him. Have you lost your marbles? Ugh, the minute the words are out, I wish I could take them back, but it's too bad because you can't hit delete that way. Anil looks puzzled, so I rush to explain. Not real marbles, I explain. It means don't be crazy. Ugh, now I want to hit delete, 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 and I can't. What have I done? Will Anil be upset because I called him crazy? I don't want both my friends to be angry with me. But Anil only says, what's wrong with being a little crazy? It's fun. And he trades air punches with the boy sitting across the aisle. Birdie, little birdie, do you know my sad story? The bus driver sings as we turn into the school grounds. Is he singing about those doves? No, he seems to be singing a sad song because he's happy, which makes no sense. Chapter 6. Word List. Mrs. Rao is walking up and down between the desks. She is keeping an eye on things. Just my luck, she catches me sneaking a quick peek into the Dove book to see if I can find whatever it is I'm missing. Yasmin, says Mrs. Rao, will you please put that book away and work on your word list? Are word lists more important than me searching for important clues? More important than reading? Mrs. Rao, ma'am, I say, I'm just reading. Not now, Yasmin, she says. I know you like to read. I do, I say. I've read more than 400 books in the last... But Mrs. Rao does not want to hear about my reading marathon. Don't interrupt me, Yasmin. She is interrupting me, and how is that all right? I want you to work on your word list now, she says. I want you to use those words in sentences. I give up. Yes, ma'am, I say, and now I am staring at the word list, trying to make sense out of it. Sometimes the words on Mrs. Rao's list share vowels: ground, proud, allowed, resound. Sometimes they share consonants: flower, fleeting, flamingo. This is one weird list. These words don't seem to share anything. Plan, election, city, office. I stare at the words until they begin to fly around before my eyes as if they were birds flapping their wings. Rini nudges me and nearly makes me drop my notebook. Write your sentences, she whispers. Okay, I whisper back. Is school not supposed to be a place where you learn to think? Nobody is letting me think today. Rini lets out a hissy sound as if she's, what's the word? Exasperated. That's it. With me. Yasmin, Rini, says Mrs. Rao, who now looks exasperated with both of us. Yes, Mrs. Rao, we say together. Rini starts to write. She writes fast. From the corner of my eye, I can see Anil getting to work. He's writing slowly, but he is writing. I'd better start writing too. So I do, letting the words fly around my head in circles. This is how they come out on the paper. The king of doves and all his subjects are caught in a net. Who will get them out? Quick, make a plan. Call everyone in the city. Don't sit there in your office. Hold an election. Help. Mrs. Rao walks between the desks again, and now she is looking over our shoulders and she is reading. That's very interesting, says Mrs. Rao when she gets to me. What does it mean? How did I know she would ask me that? I have no idea. The words just came out that way. Chapter 7. Posters. I think about Mrs. Rao's words all day. Plan, election, city, office. And I think about my words too, the words in my letter. I'm still thinking about them on the way home from school. Looking out the bus window, I see something. I see the movie poster that Rini and Anil tried to show me before when I was too busy reading my book. Only, it's not a movie poster. That's an election poster, I say. Is it? Rini says. You're right. It looks like it, but that's Karate Samuel. What's a movie star like him doing on an election poster? Movie stars run elections all the time, I say. Don't you know anything? Rini stares at me. Suddenly, I hear the words I have just spoken as if they are echoing all around us on the bus. Don't you know anything, 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 thing? Oh, those words. I didn't mean to say them. Well, maybe I did mean to say them, but not that way. I didn't mean them to be so mean. They flew out of my mouth on careless wings, and I wish that I could take them back. But it's too late. Rini has heard them already. She says, "Fine. You know everything, don't you, Miss Yasmin Genius?" Anil rolls his eyes and makes little punching gestures at me. I wish he really punched me before I said those words, but what can I do now? It's too late. Uma says sometimes it's good to think twice before you think. Sometimes I forget to think even once. It never used to matter with Rini. I could say anything to Rini and it would be all right. Suddenly it matters, and I don't know what changed. The traffic is so busy now that the bus can only go very, very slowly. The driver is not happy this afternoon. He does not sing. Instead, he honks his horn, he yells at cars, scooters, other buses, and even a man driving a herd of goats across the road. The goats don't know about traffic lights, so the bus has to wait until they cross. While we wait, I notice something that I could have pointed out to Rini if she was still speaking to me, that is. People are slapping posters on walls and lampposts. They're slapping posters on everything they can find. I'm sure if I was standing still reading by the side of the road, they would slap a poster on me. That is a lot of people all wanting to be mayor. Every poster has a logo for all of the different parties the candidates belong to. A hand, a wheel, a tree, a star, a hammer and a sickle, a camel, and more. This is going to be a crazy busy election. The star! That's Karate Samuel's party, Anil says. Of course, says Rini, he is a star. She's talking to Anil, I see, but not to me. There's a row of posters with the picture of the present mayor, S.L. Yogiraja, telling everyone to re-elect him. Mayor S.L.Y. Sly. Some people say his initials suit him fine. Other candidates have posters in clumps here and there, urging us to vote for them. Well, not us, not kids. I've never understood why they don't let kids vote. This is another thing I would like to discuss with my friends, but can't exactly talk to them about anything right now. Karate Samuel has lots and lots of posters. He is leaping and punching and kicking all over his posters. His posters scream in giant letters, "Best candidate! A1 hero!" Strings of Karate Samuel's posters hang between the trees on both sides of the road like flapping lines of washing. They get smaller and smaller as our bus goes faster. It would be exciting if only Rini was excited along with me. But Rini is wearing a frown on her face. I swallow my words. I say nothing. Chapter 8. Hello, everyone. I return the Dove book to Book Uncle. Did you like it? He asks. It was interesting, I say. But why was it so perfect for me? I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I can't help myself. I am puzzled, and it just comes bursting out that way. Ah, he says. That is a very good question. Thank you, I say. But what is the answer? Sometimes you have to let the perfect book sit in your mind for a while before it begins to mean something. He hands me 2 more books. One for now, one for later. When I thank him, he smiles and nods at me, his #1 patron. That afternoon, my mother gets ready to go shopping. She has cleaned the house until she is satisfied that it is spotless and ready for Rafiq Uncle's visit. Now we need to buy vegetables and fruits so he will not think for a minute that we don't eat properly. Our usual bunch of bananas and enough veggies for a quick curry will not do. Uma picks up her purse and shopping bags. Come on, Yasmin, she says. Let's go. As the door of our flat clicks shut behind us, the one across the hall flies open. That's Rini's flat, 3B. Out comes Shobha Auntie, Rini's mother. We say hello to her, but she barely nods back. She seems to be in a big hurry. She must be on her way to the TV station to work the evening shift. On the way downstairs, we say hello to Chinna Abdul Sahib of 2B, who has popped in to look at his mailbox. He nods back, which is more than he usually does. Chinna Abdul Sahib is a drummer. He plays a big round gadam made of clay. He's in big demand to play that clay pot drum at concerts and weddings. Wapa says it takes a lot of strength to play that kind of drum. I wonder if that's why China Abdul Sahib wastes no energy talking. We say hello to the newly married couple in 1B. They are standing outside their door, admiring the new doorbell that the electrician has just fixed. They nod, they say hello together. Then they look at each other as if they have never seen such a beautiful sight before. We say hello to the electrician. We say hello to the flower seller, who is just arriving, and to the Istri lady and her little booth downstairs. She's filling her big heavy iron with hot coals so she can press and fold the clothes of all of her customers in Horizon Apartment and the neighboring flats. Can I put some money in Book Uncle's tin, I ask. Hurry, says Uma. I run over to Book Uncle. My coins clink in his tin. Thank you, he says. We cross the road. You're very quiet, Uma says. I say. Is something wrong? She asks. I mumble. No, not really. But my voice sounds guilty, as if it's trying to escape from telling a total lie, because maybe something is not wrong exactly, but it's not exactly right either. How can everything be right when my best friend Rini has gone all huffy and quiet and it's all my fault? How are you? Says the fruit man when we get to his stand with rows of fruit all neatly stacked. I have nice bananas and guavas for you. Uma picks her fruit. Guavas that are green on top, but they will be pink inside when we cut them open, and tiny bananas from the hills. The man puts them all in a bag and hands the bag to Uma. The guavas settle to the bottom with the bunches of little bananas on top. They all jiggle into place, just the way a perfect book settles into my mind. Something behind me roars. Yasmin, watch out, says Uma. Just in time, I leap out of the way. Chapter 9, The Important Things. The big blue van rattles past. Its horn shrieks. Another second, and I would have been mango pulp, guava jelly. Yasmin, Uma scolds, don't give me a heart attack, always with your head in the clouds, always wrapped in your own thoughts. What will I do with you? The fruit man's wife clucks at me from her veggie stand next to his. She waves her hand to let me know that I should step off the road and onto the broken pavement, which I do. I'm not always wrapped up in my own thoughts, I want to say, but I don't say it because Uma is the one wrapped up now in worry. She is wearing a big blanket of worry that has to do with Rafiq Uncle and how his visits always give Wapa a headache. That roar again. The van is back. Be careful, warns the fruit man. Nothing better to do, these political heroes of ours and their election campaign people. They don't care about election issues. They think life is nothing but one big TV screen. The van pulls up, slows down. It has two big posters like a tent on its roof. Karate Samuel is kicking and punching all over those posters as if he is doing his karate demo to the very loud music from the van's speakers. Over the music, the driver shouts, "Want a tip-top mayor? Vote for Karate Samuel." "What'll he do for me?" the fruit man shouts back. "And me," his wife pipes up from the vegetable stand. She picks up an onion and tosses it in one hand, as if she's practicing, as if any minute she will throw it at Karate Samuel's poster. The driver only yells as he drives off, "A1 hero, Karate Samuel for mayor." Who are you going to vote for? I ask my mother. I don't know, says Uma. What about him? I point after the van. It has now sped through a red light and is quickly vanishing into the traffic. That's Cinema Karan, says Uma. Why should I vote for him? Just asking, I say. She's right, he is a cinema guy. But is that a problem? They all want votes, says the fruit man. Then, when they get elected, they don't do anything. That is a problem. Because grown-ups are supposed to keep their promises, aren't they? We buy onions and potatoes and bitter melon from the fruit man's wife. I don't like bitter melon, I say. Uma buys it anyway. She needs to show Rafiq Uncle that she is no slouch in the kitchen and that she can make traditional dishes. She does not say this, but I know. The vegetable lady fills our second bag and hands it to me. I grab it with both hands. It is heavy. Then we walk home. Uma, I ask as I drag the bag full of veggies up the stairs, what is an election issue? The things that people care about, says Uma, jiggling the key in the keyhole. She pushes the door open with her shoulder. The candidate's positions on things. What things? You know, important things. She waves her hand as if the important things will appear in our flat and walk across our floor. Things that political leaders have to manage. Does Mayor Sly manage important things, I ask? She tries to be serious. Yes, I suppose he... And then she laughs at the silly name that everyone calls the mayor, because really, it fits him so well. I don't know, Minu. I don't trust him either. Chapter 10, The Permit. I managed to finish one of the 2 books that Book Uncle gave me. It is a mystery, the kind of book you can read in one big gulp and it does not feel like work. Not like that Dove book. Skinny as that one was, its story is still flapping around in my mind. The second Book Uncle book is a karate book. I'll read it later and then maybe I'll pass it to Anil. In the morning before I catch the bus to school, I decide to return the mystery book. That way, I can get a new one. I'm thinking I'd like to give a book to Rini too, but she's not interested in karate. Maybe Book Uncle can find me a book Rini would like, something about animals or movies. Rini is crazy about animals. The bigger, the better. She's only a little less crazy about movies. Oh, she is a crazy girl, my friend Rini, and I want her back. I want her not to be angry with me anymore. I'm busy tossing all these thoughts around in my mind, but then I get to the corner. The Istri lady is yelling at her son. The buses are rattling down the road. It seems like a normal morning, but is it? Because what I see stops me cold. Book Uncle's place looks different. Book Uncle looks different. Good morning, Yasmin Ma, he says. He's not smiling. The books are still in their boxes. He hasn't even set them out yet the way he does each morning. What's wrong? Book Uncle is just standing there with a pink paper in his hand. He puts the paper in his pocket. He takes it out again, then puts it back once more. He shuffles his feet. What's wrong? I ask. He is still not smiling. It jumbles me up. I can't do this anymore, he says. I stare at him. What does that mean? They're telling me, he says, that if I want to run my lending library here, I must get a permit. Permit? Can you get one? I ask. He shakes his head. It costs too much. I can't afford it. Then he says, you want to give me back that book? He sounds so sad that I nearly burst into tears. I hand it back to him. I was going to say I need to get another book, but before I can finish, Book Uncle takes the book from my hand. He puts it in a box. He picks up the box. He carries it over the broken pavement and stacks it on top of the other boxes on his wooden cart. He does not even look up at me. He rolls the cart up the road. Gada, gada, gado, gado. He does not look back. Over the wall that circles Horizon apartment flats, I meet the eyes of the Istri lady. She moves her iron up and down her board. She shakes her head. What happened? I wail. Someone wrote a letter to Mayor S.L. Yogi Raja, says the Istri lady. It was a complaint about our book, Aya. Who would do a thing like that? The school bus is grinding its way towards my stop. I'd better go. I don't want to get on that bus. I want to chase after Book Uncle. I want to say, wait, there's been some mistake. Instead, I have to run to the bus stop. There is so much I want to know. What was in that pink paper? Who would be so mean to Book Uncle? Why would anyone write a letter complaining about him? And where are all his patrons who come and go, giving and taking books day after day? Can't anyone help him? I want to know all of this, and there is no book that can tell me. What's more, for the first time in 402 mornings, I don't have a new book to read. And I'm going to stop there for today. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and enjoying the first few chapters of Book Uncle and Me. Be sure to tune in next week. I will be here on Wednesday, and I will read the next couple of chapters, and we will see if there's anything that Yasmin can do to help save Book Uncle, and if she can fix the problems in her friendship with Rini and Anil. So, thank you so much again for joining me, and I hope that I will see you back here again next week. See you later!